What is up, fellow duelists? Me too, Overkill here again, and I'm going to be doing a deck profile on the boss decks that I happen to own. I originally wasn't going to do this, but a few people asked for it, so I thought I might as well cater to the viewers and show these decks off. For those of you who don't know what a boss duel is, I'm going to leave a link in the description to a Yu-Gi-Oh Wikia page that tells you everything about them. But as for the basics, they're a special thing in Japan using exclusive 8-card decks that they use them on their Yu-Gi-Oh Day. That up to 3 duelists can challenge a boss deck, and it's all good fun. Really, I really enjoy playing these. A lot of my friends enjoyed playing against them. It really makes for interesting game of Yu-Gi-Oh. So I'll get into there are certain rules. I'll get into the basics. Is that the boss decks are only 8 cards each. The boss cannot lose the game by decking out. The boss it starts with 5 cards in the hand, and then 3 cards in a predetermined order in the deck. And I'll leave the link in the description, but that's basically it. And you can up to 3 people can challenge a boss. So I don't really want to take up time explaining all the rules. So that's what the link in the description's for. But I'm going to deck profile. There are currently 4 boss decks in the OCG. I only have Pegasus and Don 1000, but there's also a Night Shroud and a Z1 deck that I'm going to make soon. I'm using these TCG proxies I made because I really didn't like how the actual boss cards look. They're kind of boring since they all have the same artwork. So I basically made TCG proxies of the boss decks. So I'll do the Pegasus one first. For Pegasus' starting hand, you have Toon World, Toon Mass Sorcerer, Toon Gemini Elf, Toon Summon Skull, and Comic Hand. Now, Toon World, oddly enough, is a field spell, and once per turn it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it also lets all your Toon monsters attack your opponent directly. Toon Mass Sorcerer, if you notice, all these monsters do not have levels, ranks, or attributes, or types for that matter. Where the type would be on these, whoever made these proxies, they put the starting hand where it goes in the deck instead of the type. But Toon Mass Sorcerer, I should mention also that the boss can normal summon an unlimited number of times per turn, and any cards in the boss's graveyard go back to their hand after the draw phase. So because it kind of compensates for the deck only being 8 cards, so they kind of had to do something for that. Toon Mass Sorcerer, if Toon World's on the field, it can attack directly. If it attacks directly, I can shuffle 1 card in an opponent's graveyard back into their deck. Toon Gemini Elf, if it deals battle damage, I get to look at my opponent's hand and discard 1 card. It can attack directly if Toon World's on the field. Toon Summon Skull, all he can do is attack directly if Toon World's on the field. Comic Hand, this card is so crazy. I love it. It's a quick play spell. I can take control of one of my opponent's monster permanently, and it becomes a Toon monster. So Toon World combo, pretty cool combo. So yeah, Comic Hand, pretty crazy card. And now the cards in Pegasus's deck are a special version of Relinquish. We have Mimicat or Doppelganger, and Toon Briefcase. Relinquish is going to be the first card you draw. Relinquish, it can't be special summoned. You have to tribute a monster to normal summon it. Then, up to twice per turn, it can suck up a monster in my opponent's field or discard pile or graveyard, and it gains the attack of all the monsters attached to it and defense. And it also cannot be destroyed by battle. And if I would take battle damage involving this monster, my opponent takes the same amount of battle damage. Then we have Mimicat or Doppelganger. I take 1 spell card from my opponent's graveyard and activate it on my side of the field. Then Toon Briefcase is a pretty powerful card. It's kind of like a Wing Wind Blast with no cost. I can target any card on my opponent's field and shuffle it back into their deck. So that is the Boss Duel Pegasus deck. And then for Don 1000, I will explain one problem, is that a lot of these decks auto lose to cards like Vanity's Emptiness and Skill Drain. Pegasus doesn't lose to Emptiness because you can still normal summon, but Don Thousand's deck automatically loses to Vanity's Emptiness. So when I use Don Thousand's deck, I also kind of enforce a no Vanity's Emptiness clause, because otherwise the deck just automatically loses. Because everything in here special summons, and there's no back row removal in Don Thousand's deck. I guess that's to compensate on how powerful the monsters are. But we have Numeron Network. Up to twice per turn, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. It just can't. And then, so you'd basically have to MST 3 times. I don't recommend it. Also, if I control no other cards, I can send a Numeron during either player's turn. If I control no cards, I can send a Numeron spell or trap card from my hand or deck to the graveyard to activate its effect once per turn. No, I think it's not once per turn, it's just during either player's turn. That's in the starting hand, and also for the starting hand we have number C1, Gate of Chaos, Numeron Shunya, Numeron Chaos Ritual, Numeron Direct, and number CI 1000, Numeronius Numeronia. I'll explain Numeron Direct first, because that's usually the card you're going to activate first after Numeron Network. Numeron Direct special summons 4 of these Numeron tokens. And they each gain the effect that if they battle, at the end of the damage step, their attacks all double, which is pretty insane. So, like, I attack, they all double, they attack, they all double, they attack, I attack, they all double, I attack, they all double. Which is pretty insane. They start with 2000 attack, too, which is pretty good. And then, normally you want to tribute a token for number C1, Gate of Chaos, Numeron Shunya. It can only be, I think it's normal summoned, by tributing a number token. And his effect is, I can tribute all their monsters I control to deal their combined attack to one opponent as damage. Which is pretty insane. And then we have Numeron Chaos Ritual. It's a quick play spell card. When a face-up Numeron, Gate of Chaos Numeron Shunya is destroyed, I activate this, which special summons the first card that goes in Don Thousand's deck, number C1000 Numeronius. He has 10,000 attack and defense, and when he's, I think it's like once per turn, I can blow up my opponent's field, their monsters. Then I special summon as many monsters that were destroyed as possible to my side of the field. And then his other effect is, if he would be destroyed, I can destroy a different monster I control instead. And then if he is destroyed, I can special summon number CI 1000 Numeronius Numeronia, which has 100,000 attack and defense. It cannot attack, but if my opponent does not battle this thing, they lose the game. Or if they don't battle at all, they lose the game. But you can only select this card as an attack target, which is pretty insane. So you're going to have to pull off some crazy shenanigans to try and get around this. The other 2 cards in Don Thousand's boss deck are Numeron Rewriting Xyz. If I control no cards, I can negate the special summon of a monster and destroy it. Then I special summon a different monster from my opponent's deck. And the same thing goes for Numeron Rewriting Magic. When my opponent activates a spell card, will I control no other cards, negate and destroy it, then I activate a different spell card from their deck. So that is the boss decks. I'm gonna once I make Night Shrouds and Z1's boss deck. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make Z1's boss deck just because I don't really like it. But so far I really like the Pegasus and Don Thousand ones, which were the first boss decks to be released, and they're really a lot of fun. You should really try. I recommend trying these out. I got these proxies online. You just look up boss duel cards and you'll see them. And I'll leave a link in the description about more rules about the boss duel, because it may seem unfair, but my opponent actually gets some pretty cool abilities that they can use. It's also meant to be taken on 3 versus 1, so it's not always going to be one-on-one. And each player gets like 8,000 life points, but the boss gets 8,000 times the number of opponents he's facing. And that's the boss deck. As always, thumbs up this video to show your support, and Mutual Overkill out. Talk to you later.